this trial, I mean, it's hardly edifying for either side, but we are beginning to see these sorts of tropes come out again, aren't we, of histrionic women versus poor, victimised men?
Yeah, I think that I don't find Amber Heard repulsive at all. I think that what you're seeing is the deliberate positioning of her as mentally ill. It's something that thousands of women are going through to this day. You know, diagnosing a woman with borderline personality disorder or histrionic personality disorder, which I have never heard a professional say seriously and without irony in my whole career. I thought we'd stopped using that term. It's a go-to tactic of legal teams that are intent on discrediting a woman and positioning her as non-credible and as not able to speak accurately or honestly about anything, you know, that she'll exaggerate. It's a way of positioning her as deviant and dangerous. You know, it's a deliberate diagnosis to humiliate her and discredit her as much as possible, because it introduces the idea to everybody else that nothing she says is reliable, right?
Where does this come from? Because, I mean, bare facts and statistics suggest to us that psychopathy is more prevalent in men, that suicide happens far more often in men than women, and yet there still seems to be these sorts of beliefs that women somehow are emotional, more emotional, and therefore more vulnerable to mental health issues.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, you're looking at 4,000 years worth of misogyny. So, you know, in even some of the ancient Greek philosophers argued that women were just defective, deformed versions of men. Their minds were smaller, their brains were smaller, they couldn't think, they didn't remember things, they couldn't learn, you know. And so there was this belief that women were hysterical, they were mental, they were insane. And it came from a belief that their wombs had detached from the rest of their body and was wandering around their body, attacking their brain and their heart, and was making them crazy and disobedient and insane. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you consider that term hysteria, the belief that women were hysterical, and so they had this natural position of being just insane, that continued in psychiatry and in medicine until the 1960s and the 1970s. We were still performing in psychology and psychiatry mass womb extractions, torture and abuse under that term of histrionic women and hysterical women until the 60s. Like, this isn't that far back. We're not talking hundreds of years ago. And so, you know, in 1968, you were known as a hysterical woman. You could be diagnosed as a hysterical woman. You could be sent to an asylum. And then it got changed to histrionic women in 1980. And then it got changed to borderline personality disorder. We're seeing a deliberate process of making female insanity and female, you know, being emotionally unstable. We're seeing it being made more and more legitimate and professional, like, so that people accept it as a real disorder.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.